Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today we are diving into a really fascinating and honestly pretty volatile name in the tech security space, Sealsq Corp.
That's right. We're going to unpack the details and try to answer that key question for you. Is now a good time to buy into this post-quantum security innovator?
Yeah.
It's definitely a company with a story, sharp declines, followed by what looks like a very aggressive turnaround play.
Exactly. Lots of noise around this one. We need to figure out if this recovery is the real deal or, just a flash in the pan. Before we get into the numbers and the tech, which could genuinely reshape cybersecurity, just a quick reminder, please subscribe if you haven't already, and leave us a comment. Let us know if there's a company you want us to look into next. Your suggestions really do shape our analysis here.
Definitely appreciate the input.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Sealsq. The timeline is kind of dizzying. Looking back at 2024, it looked like serious trouble. Revenue tanked, losses ballooned. But now the narrative and the stock price, too, seem to be hitting reset. You mentioned a challenging transition. What exactly went wrong in 2024? How bad were those numbers?
Yeah, challenging might be putting it mildly. It looks more like an operational collapse, at least on paper. For the full year 2024, the revenue dropped, get this, 63% year over year, fell all the way to $10.98 million.
Wow, 63%.
And at the same time, the net loss widened significantly, ended up at negative $21.20 million.
A 63% revenue drop is severe. Yeah, that's terrifying. It usually sends investors running for the hills. Any idea what caused such a dramatic fall? Was it losing a huge contract, or maybe they were deliberately ditching an older business line?
The company called it a challenging transition. That usually implies some kind of forced restructuring, maybe shifting away from older, less profitable stuff to focus squarely on the future. Whatever the reason, those 2024 figures set an incredibly low bar, created what analysts love to call easy comps for the next year.
Right, easy comparisons. And that seems to be exactly what we're seeing play out now with this turnaround momentum.
Precisely. It looks like they're executing that reset. And aggressively, we saw preliminary revenue for just the first 9 months of 2025 hit $9.9 million. Now, compared to that awful 2024 base, that's a 41% jump year over year.
Okay, 41% growth. That's certainly a strong signal that things are moving in the right direction.
It is. And psychologically, that's a huge shift for the market. They've also reaffirmed their full-year guidance, aiming for somewhere between $17.5 million and $20 million. And what's interesting, too, is the external view. Now, we always take single analyst ratings with a grain of salt, but the one covering it has a strong buy and a $6 price target. That suggests pretty high hopes that this tech pivot is actually starting to pay off in contracts.
Okay, so the stage is set for potentially dramatic growth. But growth needs capital, a solid foundation. Given that huge volatility, and you mentioned the official 10K wasn't out for the latest period, how's their financial footing? Is Sealsq secure right now?
Well, historically, yeah. Financial flexibility was a bit of a worry. Negative income, falling revenue, that makes things tight. And specifics on their current debt load, that's still a bit of an information gap in the public filings right now.
Okay.
But the market cap is pretty substantial, around $896 million. So the market seems to be buying into the valuation, at least to some extent.
So how did they shore things up? How did they get the cash needed for this tech-heavy turnaround?
That's the major recent positive. The balance sheet got a huge boost. Cash reserve jumped way up to $121 million as of June 30th.
$121 million. Where did that come from?
It wasn't organic, no. It was fueled by a big $69 million warrant exercise that happened in the fall.
Right, warrant exercises. That often means dilution for existing shareholders, which isn't always great news. Is that a worry here, or does the cash injection kind of outweigh that?
Good question. In this case, it seems the cash injection was critical. It likely secured their operational runway for the short to medium term. That liquidity is vital, right? It means they have the funds for R&D, especially on the quantum security side, and for expansion.
Without having to immediately run back to the market for more cash.
Exactly. Assuming they hit their revenue targets, of course.
Oh.
But they bought themselves time and breathing room, which is huge for a company like this.
And for you, the individual investor thinking about this, the stock's daily trading volume is actually very high. We're seeing numbers around 52.7 million shares changing hands lately.
Yeah, very liquid.
Which means getting in or out of a position shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me, the product. Because the value here isn't really in the past financials, it's all about the future tech. What exactly does Sealsq sell, and why is it special enough to justify this near billion-dollar valuation?
So their core is secure semiconductors and related services. We're talking next-gen secure microchips. They call them Vaultic products. Then there's IoT public key infrastructure, smart card readers, and the real kicker, post-quantum cryptography solutions.
Post-quantum cryptography, PQC. That's the game changer, right? Explain that for us.
Absolutely, that's the key. PQC tackles this massive looming threat, maybe still theoretical today, but potentially existential from quantum computers.
Okay.
Once we have large, stable quantum computers, they'll theoretically be able to break the standard encryption we use today. Think RSA, ECC, the stuff securing, well, everything online. Finance, defense, you name it.
So Sealsq is building defenses against computers that don't fully exist yet.
Pretty much. They're building the infrastructure and the chips that are designed to resist those future quantum attacks. They're getting ahead of the problem now.
Like building lifeboats before the Titanic even hits the iceberg, betting that governments and big industries will eventually mandate these new standards.
That's a good analogy. They're aiming to be leaders in NIST standardized quantum-resistant chips. NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, is setting these new global benchmarks. If you're compliant early, you potentially lock in a huge advantage.
That does sound like a potentially strong moat.
Is it just the chip they sell, or is it a bigger package?
This is more of an ecosystem play, which makes it stronger. They've got vertical integration, so they don't just sell silicon. They offer the chip plus the PKI services, that's the system managing digital keys and certificates, and the provisioning services to get it all working.
Okay.
And they really lean into their identity as a Swiss-based cybersecurity innovator, leveraging that Swiss reputation for security, precision, neutrality.
Makes sense. And is the market demand for this kind of security growing fast enough to support the valuation?
Seems like it. The need is definitely accelerating in high-value regulated sectors. Think encrypted IoT devices, connected cars, industrial control systems. If governments start mandating PQC or big contracts land, that revenue guidance could jump significantly. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From the fundamentals to how the stock itself is behaving, the price action has been, well, wild. A 52-week range from 31 cents to $11. That's not just volatile, it's explosive. What are the technical charts telling us right now?
Yeah, that volatility definitely reflects the speculative buzz around the tech and the turnaround story. But the current price, sitting around $7.25 as of October 2025, is actually showing some powerful technical signs that the uptrend might be real and sustainable, not just a short-term spike.
What kind of signs are we talking about? What should people look for?
Key thing is the moving averages. The stock is trading consistently and quite a bit above its key moving averages. The 50-day is down around $3.33. The 200-day is around $3.51.
Right.
For the price to stay so far above both of those, especially the longer-term 200-day, that's a classic technical bullish breakout signal. Often suggests bigger money, institutional capital is coming in and supporting the move.
So the chart seems to be backing up the financial reset story. What about momentum? Is the trend strong?
Momentum looks exceptionally strong right now. If you look at a blend of technical indicators, the consensus is overwhelmingly a strong buy. Something like 13 out of 17 different indicators are signaling buy.
Okay, let's break down maybe a couple of those for listeners who aren't glued to charts. You mentioned MACD and ADX in the notes. What are they showing?
Right. So the MACD, that's moving average divergence, is positive. Simply put, that means recent upward momentum is stronger than the longer-term trend, suggesting acceleration.
Okay.
But maybe even more telling is the ADX, the average directional index. It measures how strong a trend is, regardless of direction. An ADX over 25 usually indicates a strong trend. Sealsq's ADX is currently over 55.
Over 55, that's really high, isn't it? Suggests the bullish trend isn't just strong, it's got serious conviction behind it.
Exactly. It signals extremely high trend strength. You often see that with significant institutional buying or sometimes even a short squeeze dynamic. Combine that with the price resilience and clear retail interest, and yeah, the overall sentiment score is firmly bullish.
All right, looking ahead then, we've got a confirmed technical uptrend, cash in the bank, potentially groundbreaking tech. What specific events are coming up soon that could act as catalysts, potentially driving the price even higher?
Well, they've been busy on the execution front. They successfully integrated that ICALPS acquisition back in August. That helps their vertical integration, basically lets them control more of the chip production process themselves.
But the big one everyone's watching
has to be the confirmed product launch in November 2025. They're rolling out the Quantum Shield Cura 7001 chip, and their YSAT 3.0 PQC platform. This is huge. It's their big play for leadership in those NIST standardized quantum-resistant chips we talked about.
This is the proof in the pudding moment for the whole growth story.
Absolutely. Execution on this launch is critical.
And they seem to be lining up customers already. You mentioned partnerships in key areas.
Yes, they've announced several interesting ones recently. Partnered with a Swiss firm, Weekend Group, for post-quantum KYC MiRIC, Know Your Customer in Finance. Also with Trusted Semiconductor Solutions, targeting secure U.S. defense applications.
Defense makes sense.
And maybe very relevant today, a deal with Landis plus GEAR focused on securing the North American energy grid. These deals suggest the tech isn't just theoretical. It's finding traction in sectors where security failures are simply not an option.
Any other potential triggers maybe on the market side in the next few months?
Yeah, potentially. There are semi-annual rebalancing windows for indexes and ETFs coming up, likely November or December. Given Sealsq's increased market cap and high liquidity, it's possible they could get added to some key semiconductor ETFs.
The passive inflow catalyst.
Exactly. That forced buying from ETFs could give the stock another technical tailwind. And of course, keep an eye out for the Q4 and full year 2025 earnings call, probably around February 2026. That's when we should see the turnaround results quantified.
And looking further out, the pipeline.
They've talked up a $170 million opportunity pipeline specifically for 2026 through 2028. Beyond that, there's definitely market chatter, unconfirmed, mind you, about potential big U.S. or EU defense contracts, and even maybe M&A interest from larger chip companies wanting to snap up quantum expertise.
Okay, let's try and tie this all together for the listener. We've covered the volatility, the impressive turnaround signs, the cutting-edge tech. But what are the big risks here? What tempers all this enthusiasm? And what's the final investment verdict?
Right. Need to stay grounded. The number one risk, hands down, is execution risk. Can they actually make this transition work? Can they turn from a restructuring story into a consistently profitable PQC leader? They have to prove 2024's losses are history.
And the cash they raised, does that eliminate the risk of needing more money down the line?
It helps massively for now.
Yeah.
That $121 million reduces the immediate risk of dilution. But if that revenue growth stalls, if they keep burning cash, eventually they'd likely have to tap the markets again. And we just have to acknowledge the sector itself. Microcap cybersecurity tech. It's inherently volatile. Money flows in and out fast. Investors need to be prepared for potentially big swings. Just look at that 31 cent to $11 range again.
Okay, so weighing those risks, execution, potential future dilution, volatility against a revolutionary potential, what's the bottom line?
We land on an overall bullish rating, let's say 8 out of 10. And the rationale is pretty specific. One, their unique PQC positioning. It's a vital tech for a future market need. Two, that confirmed technical momentum we discussed, the breakout, is real for now. And three, multiple specific near-term catalysts, especially that huge November launch.
Sounds like timing could be important here. How should listeners think about the investment horizon?
Good point. Short term, say the next quarter or so, it's really about playing those potential catalysts, the launch, positive earnings news. Long term, thinking 3 years plus, that's where you potentially capture the big structural upside if they really nail the PQC market. Some long-term models always take these with caution, are forecasting prices like $19.39 by 2030, even $50 plus by 2040.
Okay, $50 by 2040, that feels like a real moonshot scenario. What would actually have to happen for that kind of price to be even remotely realistic?
Well, you need a couple of major things. Widespread regulatory mandates forcing PQC adoption across critical sectors like defense and finance in the U.S. and EU. And Sealsq would need to convert a big chunk of that $170 million pipeline into actual large recurring contracts. Basically, they need to become a go-to vendor in a significant part of this new security market. That huge potential upside is what you're implicitly buying into at today's prices.
Which brings up a crucial final thought. With everyone talking about cybersecurity and governments clearly moving towards needing post-quantum solutions, the real question is, how fast can Sealsq turn that technological edge they seem to have now into major, verifiable, long-term contracts?
Exactly.
Because that execution, translating potential into revenue, that's what will ultimately drive the long-term value and validate the technical strength we're seeing today.
Well said. Execution is everything from here.
Thanks for joining us for this analysis. We really hope digging into Sealsq helps inform your next investment decision.